Welcome to 843 TV. I'm your host, Lisa Richardson.
And I'm Catherine Maidman.
And today we are at the Coastal Discovery Museum at Honeyhorn. We're going to be learning all about some wonderful programs available to locals and guests.
And our guests today are Natalie Hefter, who's the Vice President of Programs. We have Robin Swift, the Vice President of Marketing and Development, and also Julie Rogers, who's the owner of Endangered Arts Fine Art Gallery.
So stick around for this episode of 843 TV,
where communities come to speak.
.843 TV, where the Low Country comes to speak.
Where Bluffton comes to speak.
Where Hilton Head Island comes to speak.
Where Beaufort comes to speak.
.843 TV,
where communities come to speak. Welcome to 843 TV, and we are here in the Sea Island room at the Coastal Discovery Museum, where there's so much to learn about. And starting us off today, we're going to be talking with Natalie Hefter. She's the Vice President of Programs, and we're going to be learning a lot of wonderful information. So thank you for joining us today.
Well, thank you for being here.
Mm-hmm. Well, everyone knows that the Coastal Discovery Museum was an instrumental part of the Hurricane Matthew recovery. It's been a little time now, but give us a recap of where we are since then.
Well, we're really thrilled to say that our attendance is back up where it was pre-Matthew, and of course, we had a lot of folks having to drive by and see those mountains of mulch and trees and all the debris coming and going. And you know, we were fully closed to the public for a few months, but thankfully, with the town of Hilton Head Island and with FEMA, we were able to work out having all of that fenced off so we could go back to as normal an operation as we could. But we didn't really feel like we were fully back up and functioning until after those fences went down, and that wasn't until June of last year. So we've just finished a little more than a year.
Sure.
But we're thrilled that our visitors are back and our locals all support us. Yes. So we've come through, but it was a tough 6 months for sure.
Well, I also heard that the museum has a new mission statement.
We do.
And to me it says to inspire people to care for the Low Country.
Right, and it's very simple, but it's at the core of all of our programs, and all of the things we try to do here is really to inspire people to care for the Low Country, and that includes the culture, the history, the art, and our environment, and where they all interact and connect. And so all of our tours and programs, we try to look back to that mission and make sure that our visitors that may be from 1,000 miles away, they may not have salt marsh at home, but they may have a wetland at home, that they can take a message from here and protect their own community. They can learn about sea turtles, or they can learn about amphibians and reptiles and go home and maybe find an endangered species to protect at home. So it's all related to inspiring people. That goes from the littlest kids that visit our kids zone all the way up to the senior citizens who come from our retirement communities.
There's so much to learn about our area, isn't it? Besides the beauty, there's so much education, which you all help with. And you've been here 20 years. Wow.
I have, yes.
So you've seen a lot of programs, you're involved in a lot of things. What are some of the favorites that you want to share?
There's so many to share. But I think one of the most interesting things we've been doing lately is with our teachers. And today, we're not in our lab because we have 20 Beaufort County School District teachers here for a workshop. We're training them about bees and Reconstruction and Civil War. But during the year, we also do a program called Horseshoe Crabs in the Classroom. And the Bargain Box has funded a program where teachers get a tank with horseshoe crab eggs. During the year, they take care of those in their classroom, and they hatch out to be these tiny little horseshoe crabs. The students learn about the life cycle, the importance of these little known about creatures. And then at the end of the school year, they go and release them back into the marsh and into the ocean. And so it's an opportunity for these students to have a real empathy for these odd-looking prehistoric creatures, and to gain a sense of appreciation for them and their connection with our migrating fowl, you know, the knots, red knots traveling through and need these horseshoe crab eggs. So that's just one little thing that we do during the year that I think has become one of my favorites.
Well, you know, it's interesting. I'm new to the Hilton Head, and there's one part of the beach that I walk, and there's always horseshoe crab shells. What is this? Is it they're shedding? Are they? What is that?
As they're growing, right?
As they're
Those are the
growing.
sheds.
But
So
it's
you
only
can-
in one section. Like, you know, there's a concentrated amount of them.
And they also will only come up to lay their eggs in certain parts of the beach. So if you were out during the full or new moon during the late
Right.
spring, early summer, you may have seen mating horseshoe crabs, which is something we get calls about a lot at the museum. There's a lot to learn here, and we seem to be the go-to for some of the odd questions about our natural history and our heritage. And it's really kind of great. We consider ourselves sort of that, you know, table of contents. We'll give you that overview of our history, culture, and environment, and our art, and then if you want to learn more, we'll help direct you to that.
Interesting.
And what's fun, in the lab, there's tanks of horseshoe crabs, and it'll say 2013, 2014, 2015, so you can see how they grow over the years, and you think, oh, they're going to be huge. Even the ones that are 3 years old are just like that.
What's the lifespan of a horseshoe crab? Now we're talking about it.
I know,
mean, I've seen
right?
these big ones, I've seen these little guys.
I want to
What's
say that's
that?
at least 10 to 20 years,
Really?
I think, for some of them. And,
Oh, wow.
and if I'm wrong, I'm sure I'll hear about it.
You look up. Well, let's talk about one of my favorite things, are the sea
The
turtles.
sea turtles.
Yeah.
Well, those are very popular.
Yes, I'm sure
one of
there
our
are.
summertime reptiles that visits. The sea turtle nesting here on Hilton Head is really amazing. And we're fortunate that the town does have a lighting ordinance from May through October to protect the turtles. And a lot of people think it's just the hatchlings, but the mother turtles can get really
They can-
disoriented as
exactly.
well. So we're over 150 nests this year, which is a slower season.
But that cycles, right?
It does
Yeah.
cycle through, and so hopefully in another year or two we'll be back up over that several hundred mark.
Yeah.
But you know, people are so fascinated by sea turtles.
They are.
And-
I mean, when you see the little guys going out, I mean, that just
It's hard not
It's
to.
hard not to. And we just need to remember to, when we dig a hole, to cover them up. And the thing that bothers my husband and I more than anything is the litter. I mean, don't
That's right.
treat it like it's your living room, because this is our living room.
That's right.
So in the turtles,
And it's not just the turtles, it's the birds,
Exactly.
and it's
I
the
like how she
dolphin,
put
and all of our
that.
fish.
And the sharks, or
So,
yeah. So
you're absolutely right, and it's
Yeah.
great having people out on the beach like you who can help do that.
Yeah.
Protect it.
Well, I want to thank you, Natalie, and I just want to go. We'll be right back with 843 TV.